All right, now. I'll catch you next time. Take care, sis. This ain't gonna be dark. We good?
Good afternoon. Zachariah Jackson, BASA News. I'm in East Orange. This is East Orange. East Orange, New Jersey, and at the Prodigal Sons.
Indoors.
Prodigal Sons indoors.
Right.
Now, when you say Prodigal Sons, of course, people would more relate that to biblical.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
Can you introduce yourself?
First of all, I'm Dennis Porter, the founder and chief operating officer of Prodigal Sons and Daughters.
Okay. Prodigal Sons and Daughters.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So now, what kind of work do you guys do here, and what is the organization about?
Well, Prodigal Sons and Daughters was founded 31 years ago. So 31 years ago, I was doing a life sentence in prison. I was sitting up in jail. I had turned 17 years old, and right after turning 17 years old, I ended up in prison with a life sentence, 25 years of life. In my 11th year, it was the first time I'd ever been to the hold. I was thrown into the hold, and while in the hold, I was able to, for the first time, see all of the things that you could possibly get away with by locking a person up in there, because they already being locked up had 2 or 3 strikes against them, and now in the hold, you could practically probably get away with killing the man. So I had enough experiences in that hold that kind of was a wake-up call for me. And it was in that hold that I decided that I was going to not only change my life, but I believed that if I took the stand, I could change the lives of other people. So that was the beginning of it.
When you say in the hold,
Yeah.
you're talking about solitary confinement.
I'm talking about solitary confinement.
And what prison were you in? Can you mention?
Well, at that time, I was in Northern State.
They have a hold in Northern. That's a recent new prison.
They've had a hold a long time. I know they had it in '89 when I went in the hold. They had it then. So yeah.
Because that's a recently new prison.
Yeah, it didn't open to '87. June '87 is when it opened. I was there.
Like a Rawway. Like a Rawway is real old.
Yeah. Those are the prisons. They were sure enough old school.
Right.
Yeah, but this was new, and I was in the first cruise that went to Northern State. I volunteered to go to Northern State from Rawway.
Okay. You think you made the wrong choice?
I think it was an excellent choice.
Okay.
I think it was, because I was interested in getting closer to home. I hadn't been close to Newark in 9 years.
Okay.
And in fact, it was pretty sentimental when I looked out of the window at Northern State and I was able to see the Kruger. The
Kruger building. Yeah.
Something that on
used to be Belmont, which is West Kenny Street.
Right. Okay. I was able to see that, and that to me was a sign that I was
getting close to home.
I was getting home.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's strange how when you in solitary confinement and things of that nature, or you incarcerated, that things that's just so natural to other people mean so much to you.
Yeah.
Getting home meant a lot.
That's right.
Getting close to the Newark,
absolutely,
to the Newark energy.
Absolutely.
Because when you were in Rawway, you were more Union County.
Yeah. You're not Newark. You're not home.
It's like Southern down there.
Yeah.
It's not that far, but it's still not Newark.
Yeah. Well, Rawway was very refreshing for my bed, because I got to Rawway when I came in when I had 8 years in. So let me just turn that off. I came there when I had 8 years in. When I got to Rawway.
Okay, where did you come from before?
I came from Trenton.
Okay.
I was in Trenton for three years in Trenton.
I'll need a formula to calculate.
3 years in Trenton, and then 2 years in Rawway.
Okay.
So it was in Rawway that I left Rawway and I went to Northern State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Turn this thing off.
So, what kind of work do you guys do with Prodigal Sons and Daughters?
Prodigal Sons and Daughters is a social service entity. It particularly started out where we began, which was it started with ex-offenders. But the goal the whole time with Prodigal Sons and Daughters was to look at, first of all, being honest with you, looking at the black situation, looking at the black man particularly.
Okay.
Because as a black man, and having sat in prison and read and studied things that were not accessible to me in school, definitely not doing black history, I learned things in there that rearranged the way I would think of setting up an organization. I think anytime you're involving black people in America, particularly as it relates to the black male, you should be thinking in terms of a curriculum that takes into account the psychological, the economic, the social effect that this society has had on the black man, and how anywhere he starts because of that disadvantage is a disadvantage to him, and everywhere else he's starting out, except those areas where he has more experience than the other person has.
All right.
The prisons was a place that we recognized that the real expertise, if we professionalized it, if we packaged it, then the real expertise could lay right with us, because we could attach the practical knowledge or the technical knowledge to the practical experience. We had the practical experience, which generally comes second.
That's right. That's right.
But we had it first.
So prison basically was like a college, like a university.
That's right. That's right. Mean Street Doctor, all us kind of guys were sitting up in the joint, as we used to say, scheming and dreaming about what we was going to do when we got out.
To help fix society.
To help fix things, yeah, because we were looking at this new generation coming in with these new sentences under this, what, 2A?
Yeah, okay, I don't know.
Or 2C. What is this street? The old law is 2A, right? The new law is 2C, right? Yeah. So when the 2C came in, all of us were watching this new generation come in with these STIPs, these mandatory minimum sentences, 20, 30 years with a 20-year STIP, and he 19.
So he's got to do 20 years.
He's got to do 20 for they even want to talk to him.
So no parole, no nothing.
Now only want to talk to him. And there's no guarantee that once he go up for first time, he going to get a date. That's not likely.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So he's going to be in the joint for 25, 30 years, right? All right. So now we're looking at this. And let me paint a picture for you a little bit. Let's remember that the 2C came in 79. Okay, the new law. 80
under the Jimmy Carter administration.
Right. 80 crack came in.
That's right.
Right? Okay. With crack came the gangs, the whole gang society, because it was about organization. It was about the West Coast now, having the opportunity to expand themselves along with the drug game. It gave stability to it. And these young guys on this end needed something to belong to, because they had came out of the 70s and that era of black consciousness and self-awareness. But now they were into the 80s. They were 5 years out of that whole scene, right?
Away from like the Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah, the consciousness, all of that, right? So now there's a new generation coming in. There's no new guidance. There's no new leadership.
They don't give a damn about nothing.
They don't care about nothing. Why? But what created that was an atmosphere of drugs, cheap drugs, a lot of money that a kid on the street could make without education, right? He had all those things. Then you have what was the fallout from that was the mothers who induced that, right, that were pregnant, produced a whole generation of babies.
I remember the crack baby.
Right? The crack baby, right?
That was the term up here.
The term. So now those crack babies are in their 20s and 30s.
Right.
We're dealing with them now. So people are wondering why they are seeing this desensitized attitude about violence, a desensitized attitude about emotions. Everything involved in the culture that came in did that.
And also,
including the music.
Yeah, and I guess you're right on that point, but let's also mention too.
What, media, mass media, and the rest of it?
The absentee of a lot of us that was conscious of running away from.
But that's the whole point, bro.
Okay.
Right? It was gone.
Right.
And we know what happens in the absence of that.
Yeah, because a lot of times we were running away from our political struggles, and to replace them almost with a new bicycle or a new car is not suffice.
Right. So this is the environment we were coming into.
Yes, sir.
Right? We were coming from this conscious we generation to this new me generation.
That's That's
right?
right. All by myself.
So now it's about me. I don't care who I hurt and the rest of
Don't
it.
matter.
Okay, so now here it is, 80s come in. We're already sitting in the prison. I was in 78. I went in at 78. So I already really done kind of got drowned out by the brothers out of the 60s and 70s
Right,
up in there who given me World's Great Men of Color,
Right.
Africa's Gift to America, Stolen Legacy, 48 Laws of Power, The Art of War, all of this stuff, Machiavelli, all this stuff. This is what I'm sitting, me and him, reading in the jailhouse for years. Okay. But until I went to Ho, I really didn't know how I was going to use it. I just know it made the walls do this instead of doing this.
Instead of caving
That
in.
knowledge.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
And I was good. I was into my bed, but I was never stressed out because I was really figuring out who I was. Okay, now when they threw me in that hole, it was the first time I figured out how I was going to use that knowledge. Because prior to that, it was just going to be valuable to me when I step out.
Okay.
Now, I feel like I done received a revelation from God. He telling me, no, this work starts right now.
Right here.
And from that hole, we started writing.
Pick up right where you're at. I think
Yeah.
Booker T. Washington talked about that.
Right
Just go
here.
Right where you're at.
Yeah, and I started writing the
bucket
whole
down.
blueprint for prodigal sons and daughters. And that was the beginning of it. Then I started sending it out to brothers I knew in population all over the country, actually, asking them, am I losing my mind, man, sitting in this hole, or am I seeing something? And they said, if you crazy, I'm crazy. Because that makes sense, what you just said. In fact, here's some more stuff. And brothers started sending me stuff that's out of the ancient texts of some of our ancestors, some of the stuff out of the Egyptian mystery schools, stuff out of Egyptian Book of the Dead, all kinds of lessons and stuff that would take a brother in code, I must say, in a sense, in that we had to create an equal playing field in an environment that we consider hostile, because every time it's time to play fair on an equal playing field and do it right and just, we've been dealing with somebody who's always determined to cheat.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
we got enough evidence.
Sure.
It's like Muhammad Ali said when they asked him the Nation of Islam's view on whites. Muhammad Ali said, look at it like this here. You got 1,000 snakes in a room and only 100 bite. You gonna go up in there trusting you ain't gonna run into the ones that bite?
Right. You don't know.
No, it's better to stay out,
That's
you
right.
know. So yeah, we wanted an organization that was not controlled by corrections, the feds, the state. We wanted it run by us. We wanted it to be a society within society, a government within the government, that we took full responsibility for all of our needs, not just personally, but in terms of our community in general. So if we took you through a 12-week life skills mentorship training program, this training program was created by the guys that did the time. They broke it up into 6 skill sets, and the skill sets are character building, communications, conflict resolution, family reorientation, financial literacy, and networking. So we teach them those first 5, and then the guarantee that they've learned it is that they have an assignment to network into the field to practice what you learn and bring the results back that are expected. That tells us that this person, we didn't waste nobody's time or money. We didn't waste our time or money. And now we got a person who's proven to us that he can go out here, reintroduce himself, reinvent himself.
To society.
Right. To his family, to everybody. So that's what we set up. Now, if a guy can't make it through that 90 days, it's because, number one, he has not understood what we're about. We're for real. We're not another inmate prison organization that your boy's up in there. So I'm good because my boy's in there. That's why at a certain point you're offered membership into the membership, the fraternity of Prodigal Sons and Daughters.
Okay.
That's beyond the services, because we're on this floor and we're on the second floor.
Okay.
So
So
the
what's the
second floor is all mental health,
Okay.
substance use,
Okay.
primary care. We have the whole second floor.
Oh, man.
So up here is re-entry, concept development, stuff that we want to create. All the other programs are housed up here. Our garden projects, our housing programs, we started all of this from that set. So now we're expanded, we're in Atlanta. We've been in Atlanta now for 5 years.
Wow.
So we have several properties in Atlanta, a huge amount of properties in Atlanta. We have a program that we are jump starting called Celebrities at Risk. This program
Okay.
is based on celebrities who have fallen.
Right.
Guys from every era that we don't
Okay,
hear about
exactly,
anymore. But they got robbed by the industry,
Mhm.
or they blew their money.
You're right. Right.
They got debt. They've got depression. They're using drugs. They're suffering mental health issues, emotional issues. They have no life insurance, no health insurance. They have no retirement plan. But we hear their music every day.
Wow.
They've been here twice, had meetings. Shy-Lights, Blue Magic. Well, Shy-Lights we didn't get. Blue Magics, Ray Goodman and Brown, Sky,
Yes.
Soul Generation, BT Express.
Oh man.
Good
Good music.
Yeah, it's a lot of them
Real music.
that we've met.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right?
Sir.
And
Yes,
it
sir.
all happened through my cousin Willie Asbury, who was the comedian. He used
Okay,
to
I
MC
remember-
all
I
those
remember,
shows,
yeah.
right?
I took a picture with him years ago.
So Willie is the one who brought all them in. And that was the beginning of them becoming aware that there was an organization out here that was nonprofit, that was not trying to make money off the artists, but now setting it up for the artists to actually collect on some of the royalties they have not gotten, to be able to actually be able to release music they have not released, have never released to anybody, and they can own the total publishing, the total profits and everything, because of the modern time of computers and
Sure,
social
sure,
media.
sure.
You no longer need a record company to produce
That's
your
right,
music.
that's right.
You don't need them to distribute it. You don't need them to market it. You don't need them to sell it.
That's
And
right.
you don't need them to collect.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, a lot of times when I'm out there recording people, I hear so much talent, but the lack of faith and belief in my camera.
Yeah.
They don't believe that
Yeah,
they
they
can
don't
sing
know.
here and we can put it on YouTube and they can
They
turn
can-
into something.
overnight.
They don't, right, they don't believe that. They need the, one lady said, I need the acoustics, I need.
It's a blessed time.
Yeah.
An opportunity for you and me, and for me because the response I've gotten, a group I've already now took over management of an R&B group. They're a local Newark group, the Silver Stars.
Okay, okay.
And now I'm the manager of the Silver Star.
Yeah, okay.
And then I was just talking to an artist yesterday, who a rapper, young brother, who said he heard that I was doing that and he wanted to sit down with me, so I should be sitting down with him soon.
I kind of know the Silver Stars a little bit,
Yeah.
and hearing them years ago.
Yeah.
And in fact, they were one of the first bands that I heard.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
a local band that I could kind of really relate
Right,
to. You know,
right.
and I met some of them along the way and thing. I kind of know them,
Mm-hmm.
and I tried to do a show with them,
Yeah.
a YouTube show.
Uh-huh.
And this goes back, I guess, about almost 5 years. I've talked to some of them to do a show for $20, and I never could get it done.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a show. I wanted to come to a place with the camera and video an actual show, maybe 5 to 10 songs, and then air it on YouTube.
Well, you're right on time, bro. You're right on time.
Because I tried that.
First of all, you're talking to the manager
Okay.
now. Now, you're right on time. I'm going to tell you why. Even though we didn't expect it to go this way,
Yes, sir.
right? But it's all good, right? So I'm going to tell you why. 3 months ago, 4 months ago, I made contact with the Whispers.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
So I became their manager 6 months. Well, let me see. No. Now it's 9 months. I became their manager 9 months ago. about 4 or 5 months ago, I made contact with the Whispers, and I asked their management, George, what does it take to book the Whispers for a show? So he told me, he ran down everything to me, so it came up to about a total, it's going to be 30,000, something like that. Maybe 35, but anyway. The Silver Stars were shocked. I said, we getting the Whispers. They said, we don't have the Whispers. Because you got the right manager. The other thing I'm going to tell y'all is this. You're going to partner with my nonprofit, and y'all are going to come under Celebrities at Risk because you already, Henry, who founded the Silver Stars, is the one who founded our behavioral health care on the second floor. You see what I mean? So it makes sense that y'all, instead of promoting yourselves as R&B old school first, don't do that. Promote yourselves as ambassadors of the R&B era first. And Celebrities at Risk is the program you're bringing to your old school generation to help them.
That's right.
So now they don't went like this. Everybody's like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, they've been out there
Where's the
forever.
Silver Star?
Yeah.
But my problem is you stayed local.
Yeah.
The reason why you stayed local is because, one, you never had writers, you never had professional writers, you never had professional management. So that's why you didn't have professional writers. They've never have written they've written a song or two every now and then, but they never have done a whole album. That's what I got on now, right? Plus the writers, you got to pay money for the writers.
Right,
You can't everybody just do that. I'm trying to bring all that.
That's good.
Choreography, everything.
Yeah, that's good.
But
they deserve it.
But we're going further than that.
That's
See, we're going into stage production.
Okay.
Now, all right.
I like to be there if I can.
Well,
sometimes.
yeah. Okay. So now we're going to talk about that part.
Yeah.
Because the reason why you're on time is because the Whispers have agreed.
I'm trying to.
Okay.
They know I've been trying.
Well, the Whispers have agreed to. Hey, Street, can you hear me? The Whispers have agreed to do a public service announcement for us, a PSA,
Okay.
right? They've also agreed to do a telethon, and that they'll help us get other acts involved. That's how much the Whispers love Celebrities at Risk. They have adopted it now.
Because they are at risk.
Well, yeah, the reality is that's what it is.
because
And the
we know.
Whispers can tell you better than
That's
anybody.
right.
Because they'll tell you, we know everybody.
That's right, they know.
And they tell you, we done lost members.
That's right. That's right.
Because of drugs.
That's right.
And crime.
And many other things.
Yeah, right?
And a lot of times too, because of not being able to connect with people that's on the ground. I think that Muhammad Ali, the Beatles told Ali, one of the Beatles, told John Lennon, I think, told him, said the truer, the realer you get, the unrealer everybody else is. So it's good to be around people that's on the ground.
Yeah.
That's what we're about at BASA News. We're about building that, not the upper ground, but the bedrock.
Yeah.
That's why I hang out, with Street Doctor over there. And
Right.
everything. Street Doctor moving, I'm going to get you on the
Right,
camera.
right,
Come
right,
on
right.
close to the brother, yes sir. To
Right.
get you on. Yeah, so we trying to deal with people that's really doing it. You
Right.
understand? I don't want to deal with Central Avenue. I want to go down to that rock that Central Avenue sits on.
Yeah.
People don't understand that it's built up like a bridge all over the streets.
Right, right.
I want to go down to the bedrock, to the rock.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here now. I'm talking to you about Prodigal Sons and things of that nature. You know, the tutelage that you do throughout the community to help lift up, and this is what we need to,
Right.
really focus on. So tell us a little bit more about
Sure, the organization.
the organization and the things that you've done thus far.
Well, the things we have done, whenever I'm asked about the things we have done, I always think about the things that we haven't done.
Mm-hmm.
I know Street does all that all the time too, because people have asked me, why haven't y'all ever had any kind of celebration or, like event to celebrate y'all success?
Sure.
And I told them it wasn't on purpose, it's just that we have a picture in our mind of where we wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
And you're asking us to celebrate where we could see the finish line, but we still got to sprint.
Mm-hmm.
before we celebrate. We got to get to there first. Now, this is okay, what we're doing, but this is not what we saw. This is just a piece of it.
Sure.
What we really saw in Prodigal Sons and Daughters is, I told you in the beginning, we saw a society within society. Now, if you think on that level, when you're coming out of jail, you pretty much are not much different than an immigrant, right? You got to come out, you got to get your paperwork in order like they got to do. The language that the people are speaking, you almost don't know, except for the folks that you close to you, they can interpret for you what the hell you hearing out here now, right?
Right.
You've been behind in terms of understanding the trends and all that, so you do need a village because you are like a child. So we keep all this in mind. So this is what we decided to do. Let's start the program before you get out. Let's make contact with as many guys behind the wall so that first of all, they understand what we're trying to do.
That's right. That's right.
Second of all, we need to commit them right now. The ones who say they serious, the prodigal son confessed to his sin. He realized it. So we got a contract where you got to confess. You ain't got to name the crimes. We don't care about that. But you got to confess to the fact that that's the mentality and spirit you live in, and that you're done with that. Because you're making a contract with your mother, your sister, your baby you left, your daughter, whoever whoever you feel like your actions have affected. You're asking them for forgiveness, for remorse. So the contract is central to what we do. Because once we get that contract, now we got access to the people close to you. Now we got a greater guarantee you're going to do the right thing when you come out, because we putting what's most important to you on the line, and we're trying to appeal to your conscience as much as possible. And this is psychological war first.
Sure.
That's what the art of war is.
That's right. That's right. Psychological.
Okay, you got to attack this guy's mind, right? You can't trust him just because he in jail now and he's saying, I'm born again. I got it. I ain't going to act up no more. Nah, well, this is something Elijah said. Elijah said, we don't make rules because we don't trust you. We make them so we don't have to.
Do it like Muhammad.
Right? So you make the rules so you don't have to trust this guy. Well, it ain't about trust. It's about, I can go over there and do mine because I know you got fired in your behind over here if you don't do yours. So I'm less worried. So we hooked this contract up with your mama, your sister, everybody you love. That's your support group. Now they have signed on to support you in any way they can coming out. So we don't leave it to chance. We meet with the family while he locked up. Now that he's signed on, we meet with them and we dissect everything he got to deal with. Housing, friends, employment, career, he gets what he call a life plan. It's a 1 year, sort of like a business plan, but it's your life plan projection in 1 year. What do you want to be in 1 year? So the guy tell you, well, I need to stabilize my living situation. I need a permanent job. I need to move out of the area I'm in because too much crime. Whatever. But the whole thing is the family is got input. Now this dude sitting in jail. He know outside now is his family in an organization working to make everything right for him. He ain't got to worry about clothes when he come out. Got that covered. He ain't got to worry about food when he come out. He got that covered, right? He ain't got to worry about housing when he come out. We got that covered. Now, he done made a commitment to come out. He comes out. When he comes out, the job is in place. Everything is in place. Why? Because we've given ourselves time, right? Sure. We've given ourselves time to put everything in place for this guy. He's given us time to know his whole family.
Sure.
We discover other jewels, right? Because it ain't enough to ever just straighten him out. Sometimes they going home and you see the place what triggered the whole thing.
Right, okay.
You get there and everybody in the house use drugs.
Right.
You say, he coming here? He can't come here? So that's how the organization gets involved.
That's deep.
That's deep.
Yes, sir.
See, let me explain something. When we talking to guys behind the wall, we make one thing clear to them. We've got to redefine what a sellout is. Because a sellout is not the guy that's trying to save the community and save our lives, and you call him a snitch. The sellout is the guy that's destroying our community, and we think that's okay.
That's right, that's right, that's right. Okay, okay, I like that.
Right?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
We think
Took a
he's
long
all right.
time. It took a long time for us to land there.
Yeah, took a long time for us to get to that.
I'm gonna say that every day. It took us a long time to make that landing.
That's right.
We had many
but it should
takeoffs,
be clear
but we
now.
never knew how to land there with clarity.
That's right.
And this is what you guys do. You guys bring
We
clarity,
bring clarity
to the landing.
because we are them, and because we're more qualified than you.
That's right.
Because you can't stand here and tell me you understand the game you in better than me. Because I did the game
Right.
and survived the game.
That's right.
Right? And I'm smart enough to know when to get out of the game.
Right.
You ain't did none of that.
Right.
You ain't even proved you good in the game.
Right, right.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
Much less survive the game.
Wow.
So that is what we have to take up the responsibility of. We're really running a campaign. The campaign should be taken to the streets. Everything that we gotta say about changing things, we need to stop going downtown and doing it. We need to stop going to Trenton and doing it. We need to stop going to Washington and
Now, when
doing
you
it
say
until we establish something ourselves.
Explain to the audience when you say go downtown, go to Trenton, and go to Washington.
City Hall,
Okay.
state capitol, or DC.
Talking about our problems.
How you gonna walk up, a man done set you free,
That's right.
unless you believe you're an inferior,
Mm-hmm.
and that you don't have the capacity, that your frontal lobe that solves problems won't solve this problem. You're not giving it time to solve the problem.
That's right.
Because you've been put in a dependent mentality.
That's right.
That somebody else feeds you, somebody else clothes you.
Like an incubator.
Yeah, somebody else polices you. Police yourself.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Somebody gotta watch your money. Watch your own money.
That's right. That's
Right?
That's right.
Okay, so
Well,
now that's what we mean by society within society. Until you find men that think on this level, we will not escape this condition.
well, you have all the ingredients in Prodigal Son to build the perfect cake.
Yeah, it takes time. The biggest hindrance to the cake is the ingredients. The very people that you want to help is the ones that fight you the
There you
hardest.
go. Amen. Yes, sir.
Right?
Oh.
I grew up watching the Ten Commandments.
Mm-hmm.
What happened after they seen that miracle going across the sea parting? And they get all the way there. The man say, listen now, I got to go up to the mount and get another revelation from the Lord. He's going to tell me what to do at this point. But I got y'all out. I'll be right back. Before the man could get back, they done already cooped up a coup. You know, man, this dude done brought us way out here. We should have stayed with Pharaoh. At least Pharaoh would have gave us meat and bread. We out here with manna. The hell is manna?
But that's the condition
See?
of a slave.
Freedom.
Because-
The manna represents their freedom, though.
That's right.
Even though their freedom is not on the level that the master had them on, it's still freedom. My father used to say, a chicken coop of your own is better than a mansion of somebody else's.
Amen.
Because that person could put you out of that mansion.
That's right.
Can't put you out that chicken coop.
Because it's yours.
Can't do it.
'Cause
Can't
it's
do
yours.
it.
It's
Right?
yours. That seemed to be the intelligence of a former slave anyway, to look back. I go back to 1863
Right.
in this side of the country,
Right.
that there were slaves that did not like the fact, or said, walk back to the master and say, why you freed me, master?
Yeah, I can see that.
You know,
They still doing it now.
Because ideology is still in his heart, and he don't know how to. Whatever.
He had a good excuse.
What was that?
He had been systematically dismantled.
Yes.
Mentally, physically, everything but morally.
Right.
He had been destroyed. He had a legitimate case.
Go back to the master.
He had never seen in his life a free black man.
That's right.
Right? So now I'm scared. I ain't know nothing about out here. You done raised me up under you. You treat me bad, but then you take me and just throw me outside. Now everything's new out here. I'm like, wait a minute, at least what's up in there I'm familiar with.
That's right.
Okay, you got prisoners. who become institutionalized.
The same thing, right?
They need order to their lives, and they can't manage themselves. As soon as they get out where access is, they don't have the discipline to not OD. They don't have the discipline to not overindulge in everything. So they end up either dead, on drugs, or back in jail again.
Wow.
Yeah. Nobody understands the psychological condition of where we are better than us. You, me, and Street. Nobody understands it. See, but we keep discrediting ourselves, and that's why we're not in the position we could be in.
Right, right.
It is because we bought into the belief that the people who say they know more, know more. And we waste a lot of time fooling around with them because they are on the agenda and they're given the money to be able to operate. So we need money to operate.
There you go.
So we
Exactly.
think we got to go to them to get the money. Muhammad Ali said this. He said, I had to make a decision as to whether I was going to be a champion and suffer now and get the rewards later, or live the lavish life now with the women and all that loose life and suffer later. Right?
But when you
Reward first,
yes, sir.
or suffer.
But to go back to the file of Muhammad Ali,
Yeah.
you know, he was an extraordinary man
Yeah.
because he believed in himself.
That's key.
He had a bus, man,
That's key.
loaded up with people following or going with him that was on his payroll.
Yeah.
Never seen a man conduct himself.
Not only that, but anybody, you know, this society doesn't honor people like Elijah Muhammad, who they can't take away from him, that none of these men that we know for who they are would have been introduced to us or been who they are. We don't know that because we don't know what, some of them we know what they were like without the touch of what they gave them. But I'm saying that to say, it is important, has been important always for this society to discredit people who are truly loyal and dedicated to change. It's important for them to do that. You have to understand the position that they are on, they are in. If under the microscope you could see you and him, you would understand why he's worried. Pure Caucasians number about 900 million. Everybody else on the planet is people of color, melanin-based
Yes.
people. So, in this country, they are smart enough to recognize their dream is slipping away, which is been the black commodity, the black product, the black person, period.
Sure.
That's slipping. With that slipping away, they have to do everything that they can to hold on to them. So they will adjust anything to give us the appearance that they are conforming or accepting or adopting to change,
Sure.
that they recognize they have to do it. But what the camera has shown is that they have only taken racism to a sophisticated level where it's subliminal. It's not obvious. It's not in your face. Trump is the one who brought it back in your face. It was there when Obama was there.
Oh, quite nice.
Everybody was just quiet, and white folks was practicing their hate privately. Now they're practicing it open. I'm only saying this because we got a new program we also just started called Black Neighborhoods Matter. Black Neighborhoods Matter is going to take us about 10 to 15 years to launch. But I just want to mention it to you because I think it's worth mentioning with us here.
Okay.
And very brief. Black Neighborhoods Matter looked at white officers who are resigning from the police force because they can't continue to have permission to kill black people and harass black people. They're talking about defunding police departments and replacing it with social programs aimed at balancing the scale,
Sure.
racial scale. All right, the third thing is, along with these two, they're also talking about organizations in the black community being funded more to spearhead these programs. So this is what we came up with. Black Neighborhoods Matter is starting to recruit young males to become the police force in their own neighborhood, the real police.
Wow.
Start recruiting young black males, street, to become the future law enforcement in their neighborhood.
Well, makes a lot of sense.
Now that's only part of the solution, though.
Mhm.
But you get it. You get it.
I get it.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's one part of the solution. But here's the other part. The only way it's going to work, is if you figure out how to couple the cop coming up with the kid coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So in other words, you got young males in your neighborhood that you want to recruit into a junior police academy to become policemen of their own neighborhoods. Just like everybody else is policing their own neighborhood.
That's right.
Right? It should be majority black cops
That's right.
in a black neighborhood.
Yes.
That's number one. Number two is this. Prodigal Sons and Daughters will sponsor a think tank that brings these two together, and they come up with with problem solving for their community. So they're going to develop a think tank of young people along with these other young people who we all are trying to recruit into future law enforcement. But we're doing it because we're going to make good cops.
Yes.
That's what we're going to create, good cops. And what they're going to do is they're going to be offered that as a part of this program, whatever problems they solve, businesses they come up with, we're going to finance it.
That's good. That's good.
We finance the business. It's owned by the cop and the kids.
Mm.
They own them,
That's right.
right?
So they work hand in hand together to build a good community.
Boom, boom.
And I just hope
We're
that
not going to, I'm sorry, brother. I ain't mean to do that.
Right.
We are not going to get out of this situation waiting on somebody to come and rescue us. The mayor, as dedicated, as loyal, as loving as he is to the cause of black people, he cannot do this job that we talking about.
That's right.
He can't do it, right?
That's right. The constituents.
And we ain't saying we doing it by ourselves.
That's
but
right.
what we're saying is you got to have a blueprint here for a major takedown. We're in crisis state.
Well, Christ, right.
So if you do this here,
Mhm.
okay, we're recruiting kids into our junior police, Newark Police Academy.
Mhm.
We're looking for kids out of Newark to become police officers for the future of our city. We are also creating junior business leaders at the same time while they are learning to be police and learning to solve. Because see, a cop ain't what he should be. A cop is supposed to be a community servant
Yes.
and a problem solver.
That's right,
They
that's
come
right.
into the police come into the community and solve the problem.
Of course they do.
That's how they get tight with everybody. That's how you can't do nothing around
That's
them.
right, that's
But you
right.
can't do this. The reason why that's failed is because there's no real money put in as an incentive put in the pot at the same time. If you're raising a young brother who might be headed towards thuggery, and you're raising a young brother who might be headed towards trying to do the right thing, and you put money in the same pot to turn both of them towards law enforcement, the money gonna get them first.
Mhm.
Good. The second thing that's gonna get them is it's real.
Sure.
Now, what's going to happen with other black cops come on the set who like that program? Already cops,
That's right.
but they love it. And they come on the set to be there so that when the ribbon cutting takes place for the first businesses and stuff, it's the cops and the kids
Working together.
working
Hand in
together
hand.
in their neighborhood.
Mhm.
Now, you rob that store.
That's the cop store and
That's right.
the
You
young
might
man.
be robbing the whole Newark police.
That's right. That's right.
They coming for you.
That's right.
This is one thing they don't just roll off and be like, yeah, well, okay, well, it was a robbery, so what? Nah, this becomes, who came up in here?
That's right.
The other thing is, you know all the people who still out here. As we build in businesses, it will be hard for them dudes to exist. Why do you think? You tell me why, if you take Avon and 10th,
Mhm.
and go up to Avon and 11th and take all the storefronts and just sitting there. And you make all them storefronts, all new black businesses under the Black Neighborhoods Matter program, right? All storefronts now businesses run by the kids. The kids in the neighborhood own them. What do you think that's going to do? What do you think is going to happen through this here?
That's right.
People are going to say, who in the hell came up with
That
that?
idea, yeah.
That's genius.
Well, that's why I say you guys created with your formula the perfect cake, the perfect storm.
That's why black neighborhoods matter.
That's what it matters.
That's when they will matter. See, they don't matter now. No more than black people matter. But black neighborhoods, black people will matter, and black people will matter when black neighborhoods matter.
It will build a
Because
confidence.
the unity is what makes
Other
you
people.
respect the people.
Yeah.
You won't come in their neighborhood and shoot them if you know that these people own all this business
That's
up in
right.
here. You come up in their neighborhood shooting somebody.
It's going to be a problem.
Oh, it's going to be serious around
Serious.
here. And guess what the government going to do? If it's the right situation, they whoop y'all ass out there in that street for doing that to them young men?
That's right.
Or those young people out there? You know what they going to do? I ain't got nothing to say about
That's
it.
right.
Because he ain't had no business doing that.
That's right. That's right.
He ain't had no business doing that. All them people, man,
And then
they pay
won't-
us out.
And then I think that
You know?
that we want not live in a community, because we live in a community
Yeah.
as if though that we're from another planet.
What do you mean by it?
Well, I mean that we don't take ownership in our community.
Right?
And I mean, I'm talking about even physical ownership, where like a truck,
The environment.
right, in our environment, like a truck or anybody can just pull up in our community.
Yeah.
And there's
That's
no
true.
questions.
That's true.
There's no nothing. They could be setting up something and we don't even, it don't even,
You know, the only thing
Touch us.
that's happened to us is that we have not staked the claim on the community. We say, take back our community, right?
Mhm.
When are we saying it?
only when the,
Something done jumped up.
something jumped off.
If
Ambulance chase, basically.
if you ever had it,
You wouldn't have to take it back.
when
It'd be
was
yours.
that you
When
had
did you
it?
lose it? You didn't
When
have
did
to.
you
didn't
have
to
it?
lose it. Exactly.
You never had it. You took it for granted that because you resided there, that it was yours. It's not yours. It's if you ain't got the paperwork,
That's not true.
the land deed,
Mhm.
it's not yours.
That's the truth.
Right?
That's the truth.
You're legally homeless if you don't have a lease
At least.
to something.
Something. You gotta be there.
Right?
You gotta have something.
Okay, so that's what we're dealing with.
Okay.
Now, check out how we come into our neighborhood. See, this is why I'm praying for this brother right here. Cause it ain't that many of us.
No. No, it's not.
You don't see no whole lot of street doctor going on.
No.
Okay, see.
I don't see a whole lot of you.
This is why I
going
came
on.
out of the
You got
street.
yourself.
This is why I came out of the street. In 2007, when we went out there, dealt with Corey, and we was all out there, and I saw that they were trying to make us treat us like we were part of the political waste afterbirth. Like after they gave birth, used all us to give birth to their position, to them getting in that position.
Sure.
We the afterbirth. You don't need that no more. So we were being
Pushed aside.
pushed to the garbage.
Right.
Now, they weren't saying it, but they got levels of acceptance.
Sure,
They got
sure.
inner circles as you
Sure,
go up,
sure.
and they tell you when, okay, this is as far as y'all go. Okay, we said, nah, you ain't gotta do that with us. we got a house. We're going, so we came up these stores. We didn't even want them to see what we was doing. So we came up here, and the reason is because I'm saying this because we sat back and said to ourselves, we are not going to hustle ourselves to death. Because that's what they're doing. Could y'all come over here? Could y'all do this? Could y'all have us over here? Could y'all be back here? Could y'all come over here? And then when you say, could you give me $5? Oh, man. Oh, we got to go through bureaucratic channels.
Right.
All right.
No need to bulldoze it.
Yeah.
when the street is already paid.
Yeah, all right, okay. All right, here, man, that's 2.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
or jobs connected to what they're doing, whether it's driving, whether it's whatever.
Something. It's always that somebody own you, though.
Right.
Okay, they gotta respect when they see that you understand the universal law. The universal law says you reap what you sow.
That's right.
Right? It's the law of cause and effect. Now, I'm gonna tell you why our street ain't rich right now. Because me and him are ready to get rich. And I've been doing it, but I never locked down specifically on what I was doing. And it hit me just a few days ago. I've been doing this stuff a long time.
If you don't want to tell your program,
Now I'm going to tell it right now.
You know, we nationally this is going to be
It's all right. I love it.
Okay.
This antidote has been given to us from the beginning.
Okay.
And man, of course, goes everywhere like the prodigal son.
Sure.
His identity was right there at home. He went all over the place just to come back to find out, man, this is where I belong. Right home. Okay. Now, everybody you know that exists thrives off of what they love. What we love more than anything in life is something or someone that makes us feel good about us, who you are, who you are.
Yes.
You could be feeling bad, and the right person who's good and has the right antidotes to throw at you can change that.
Lift your spirits.
Right? They just change it. And you go, damn, man, boy, I'm so glad you came, man. I was depressed. Okay, think about that. Who makes the most money in this country doing nothing? Motivational speakers. I say nothing, I don't mean nothing. What I mean is, it's not tedious. Let me tell you why they make the money. Because they're smart enough to focus on the right thing when they're talking. They don't talk about them, their success, unless they're talking about their failures. Right?
To lift you
to
up.
bring you down, or to bring themselves down and bring you up.
Yes.
They talk about themselves. That tells you that even though I'm standing here now and you're glorifying where I'm at, I started where you at.
Oh, Lord.
So I'm going to tell you. Now that's what catches their interest, because he can really tell them how to get from where they at to where he at.
That's right.
Now, the key to him doing that is to keep in mind that most of what he says has to be around reinforcing in a person they can do it.
That's right.
Reinforcing in you, you're good enough.
And that's what you guys do, product.
That's what we do. We reinforce with guys and everybody we come in contact with that you can go further, you can do more, you're better, you can make it. I know you can. I'm looking at it. I understand that creation puts in everybody.
The little engine that
Yeah.
could. I know you can. I know you can.
And you know what it is, the truth? It is the truth.
That's right.
It's not a lie.
That's right.
I can scientifically
You've seen
prove
it.
it to
You've
you
seen
that
it.
any man can get rich. Any
right.
man.
That's right.
All he got to do is realize he's in the wrong place trying to do it.
Taking muddy
He's in
water
the wrong place
and
or he's
creating.
doing it the wrong way. That's
Taking
the only
muddy
thing.
water and creating dry land.
Yeah.
Amen.
Now, creation. Why were you given the senses if it was
Touch,
not
feel,
to be
smell.
able to comprehend what's before you? Why were you given that? Why do I need to see? For what? Is something there I need to learn or absorb? Why did you give me ears? Why I gotta hear stuff? Why I gotta smell it? Why I gotta taste it? Why I gotta touch it? Why, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, with your asking those questions about those senses, being that you have them, then the question becomes, if those senses give you the capacity to explore, dissect,
That's right.
and expose
And examine.
what's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it must be for the purpose of you utilizing it,
Sure.
right? It must be
Yeah,
there for
that's
you.
What he gave it. That's what the Lord gave it to you.
How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
It's way back.
Dale Carnegie will tell you the greatest conversation you'll have with a person is when you encourage them to talk about what's important to them. You might not say much, but you just kept encouraging them to talk more about what they want to do. Most people are interested in self first. That's self-preservation.
Sure.
With self-preservation, most of us don't get the amount of positive reinforcement we need every day.
That's right.
Now, what happens if you become the sun and I don't get enough sun, and all of a sudden they move me to a place where the sun is? I got a greater appreciation for that sun. I'm gonna be in that sun where there ain't nobody else in that sun.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Prodigal sons and daughters, like Street does, makes themselves the sunshine.
Amen. You're the city on the hill.
Right.
Yeah. Not only in terms of my happiness, that's not enough. In terms of my ability to have enough happiness that you can't come in contact with me without leaving happy.
Amen.
This is important
Yes.
because if you take care of God's people and make them happy every chance you get, they will in turn fulfill their obligation
Somewhere around the line, yes.
to make
it will.
somebody else happy
Yes.
and make sure you definitely all right.
That's right. That's right. That's
Because
right.
you become the wells, the spring from which they drink.
Amen. Yes.
So that's why Joel Osteen has such a big audience, because he's standing in the middle of them
Yeah.
and he comes right out. First thing he did was he got rid of anything that don't work. So traditional church services,
Yeah.
where you come in and go through this ritualistic thing, he not eliminated that.
Yeah.
He came right out and said, let's get to the point.
Watch him every day.
Right? He come out and he'll say his little opening pledge that
Yeah.
everybody
This
recites,
is my
right?
Bible. This is my Bible.
Right. Then he tells a little story to
Good
break the
story.
ice.
Jesus.
Right? He gives that off. Now I need you to understand something. That is the blueprint for success.
Yeah, brother.
And everybody else you see doing. I don't care if it's Minister Farrakhan. I don't care
Right.
if it's Martin Luther King. The key thing is something that a man named Simon Sinek says. Look him up on YouTube. He got a best-selling series called Start With Why.
My
Don't
favorite
ask
word.
them how.
My favorite word.
Don't ask them what. Don't ask them where or when. Ask them why. Why you
Why?
do this?
Why?
Because why is what gets you up
Hello.
when nothing
That's right.
is there to get
That's
you
right.
up.
Thank
That's
you,
right.
brother.
When no money came in, right?
Why?
No applause,
No applause.
no credit,
No credit.
nothing.
Nothing.
You got to get up some morning, and why is the thing that makes you get up? Because why is the first thing you say, hey, you know we got to get up here and do this because that's your why. Ah, yeah, we got to do that. Martin Luther King, Simon Sinek spoke on it. He said Martin Luther King's famous I Have a Dream speech, the reason why it came across so powerfully and so many people was on that lawn, it was because Martin has always been a master at spelling the why, because the why connects people. The same reason why I do it is the same reason why you will do it. I have a dream that one day my little children will wake up in a country where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Now, every sound person, white, black, whoever, sits there and goes, damn, that makes sense. I mean, that's right. Who wouldn't want that? So, anytime you speak and you're trying to make a case or get support for something, your why needs to match something that's a why for everybody else, because if you find that thing that you love and they love, brother,
That's it.
love is what I was getting to. Find what a person loves, love them, and find out what they love. Because once they know that you support them in what they love, that's the best you're going to get out of that person. They're going to love you and associate you to what they love.
That's right.
Because it's a whole experience. When you go in a restaurant, you don't just go in that restaurant and say, I'm satisfied if the food is just good. No, you don't. If the waitress is nasty,
Oh.
if the maitre d' is nasty, if the cook don't talk to you right, if the experience, I don't go to a restaurant just to eat. I can eat at home. I go for the experience. I want to be treated right now
That's right.
like I'm important.
That's right.
And I'm going to pay for it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If I don't get the whole experience, I can't even enjoy the meal.
That's the truth.
Right?
That's the truth.
Okay. When people meet you, it's supposed to be an experience. Now, Street, I've seen do it for years.
That's right.
Where he is like, I tell people this all the time. Walt Disney, Berry Gordy, anybody who built the world around them, yeah, they went outside of their minds and they built a world. That's what a person should see in your experience. What's your last name?
Jackson.
The Jackson experience. You understand?
Yes, sir.
The Jackson experience is an actual reality. It actually means something.
That's right.
There's an experience I'm having with
That's
you.
right. That's right. That's right.
Okay. That's how it's supposed to be. When you come to see Street Doctor, there should be a whole show around this.
That's right.
Because Street is promoting everything we love. We think he's doing it because it's part of making Street look good. Dang, why he doing it? Dang, why he doing it? Because the guarantee is implanting the seed in us. That's what the guarantee is, the seed.
It's kind of like years ago,
You know?
we'd go to see an Earth, Wind, and Fire show, and I didn't just go for...
Remember the shit?
You went for everything.
I went for everything.
The light, the pyrotechnics, the light show,
the magic,
the
Maurice
video,
had everything.
the
going.
costumes.
Yeah, the costume,
Yeah.
the
Right?
birds.
That's
Oh
what we
my
talking
God,
about.
yes, sir.
When Michael Jackson would make a video, everybody else was just making videos. Mike said, nah, I'm
did a
going to
story.
transform you.
Yes, he did.
I'm going to take you into another
He
world.
did a movie.
Right? You see what I mean? So that's what it's all about. That's what I'm doing with the Silver Star. Silver Stars is getting a whole transformation going on.
But what I like-
Stage, production,
Doc,
everything.
what I would like to
Uh-huh.
do is come back maybe next week,
Mhm.
or I will come back next week, and we're going to talk about your management of the Silver Stars.
Yeah.
And then you can talk about your vision and everything that you want to do, if that's okay with you.
That's fine with me.
And we'll sit down and we'll have a conversation.
That's fine with
and
me.
we'll talk about that.
Right.
Sounds good.
Okay? Now, as we come into the conclusion of the prodigal sons and daughters,
Right.
tell the audience how to reach you.
That's it.
Well, there's several ways you can reach Prodigal Sons and Daughters. Our office number is 862-252-7277. Our website is www.prodigalsite.org. You can reach us in that way. So either one of those ways you can reach out to us, and all the information about reaching us in any other way is contained in there.
Okay.
Right.
Are they allowed, do you have an address, a physical address?
Physical address is 60 Evergreen Place in East Orange. We have 2 floors. The 9th floor is the parent part of the company. The 2nd floor is the behavioral health care, which is mental health, behavioral health, and substance use. Our resource center is located at 387 Avon Avenue, where we have a thrift store. We were doing a food pantry, but we're looking for a bigger location for that now. And our housing, we have all over the city and in East Orange and different places like that. So it's a housing situation. We only do housing for those who are a part of the program or coming or agreeing to be a part of the program. Outside of that, we have a lot of things on the table. As I've said, we are down in Atlanta. We're doing a lot of work in Atlanta. I'm saying just Atlanta, but actually we just moved to Florida. We just expanded to Florida 2 weeks ago. It's just that they haven't officially did the grand opening. So I forgot about that for a minute. But that's what it's about. That's what we know.
Okay.
We could talk in detail, like you said, about some other things next time, because you know, I knew I would get all. I knew with street near the year, I would start talking about the street war,
Yes.
the war that really we need to conduct on the street. And I'm telling you, brother, you need to come back here a couple of times.
Well, I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. Okay.
I tell you.
All right. Again, this is Zachariah Jackson, BASA News. Good night.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no,